Howdy. You know, with gaming as big as it is now, there are seemingly non-stop amazing games being released. Like, come on, Steam. My wallet is begging for mercy. Stop it, hand. What are you doing? You don't need this. Fight back. Come on. This also obviously includes RPGs. I mean, let's talk about Borderlands. I like those games. Divinity, hey, it has no shame. Dark Souls, who needs that sleep? Elder Scrolls Fallout, those can't be beat. Monster Hunter World? Wait, that's where the song ends, because this is an RPG developed by CAPCOM, and it is much loved. But what if I told you Capcom made another RPG, except this time way more focused on a story and open world elements? Well, that did happen, and it's called Dragon's Dogma. But sadly, I don't think this game gets nearly the amount of love it deserves. Now, is it perfect? No. But neither is Skyrim, and geez, look at those sales. Whoa. That's not a knock at Skyrim. I obviously love the game. It's easily one of my favorite games of all time. Just scroll through my channel. It was a joke. No, please don't. I'm sorry. The only way I knew this game even existed was because of a tweet by none other than, yeah, Netflix is making an anime adaptation of this game. And my Weeb alarm went off, and I looked it up, and I seen it was on sale, and I bought that bad boy. Then I beat it and wanted to make a video on it, so here we are, and welcome. Now, this video is being made because I wanted to shine however small a light on a game that I think deserves so much more love, because I loved it and wanted to let people know about it just in case it slipped under their radar. So let's get into it. Oh wait, really quickly. The cutscenes you'll see from this video are from the early game. Some gameplay and footage will be from the late game, but it will contain no spoilers, so don't worry. Now let's sharpen our blades and venture into this world together. After all the character customization, I've been here for 6 hours. Now what's the plot here? What is the story? Well, this is a seemingly normal RPG world. Goblins, lizardmen, all the works, you know. Except there's one difference.
It's the dragon!
This isn't no ordinary gold-loving scaly friend, no. This is like our boy Parthenax. This dragon has a voice that makes me think weird thoughts. No, Parthenax, we can't. It is forbidden. I am married. Why are you subscribed to me? Anyway, this dragon is a genius. It's not some idiot animal, and it is ravishing the land, and it attacks your small village. You try to fight back, however this doesn't work because you are level 1, you idiot. And then the dragon steals your heart. Not in that kind of way. He rips it out of your chest, big scar, yeah, it's a big deal. This doesn't kill you, however. This does make you the Arisen, and you need to go on a long journey to save the land from the dragon and retrieve your stolen heart. I personally love the story here. It's not too complex. Well, not initially. Can't talk more about that for spoiler reasons, but whew! Anyway, this story does give the player a good incentive to explore the world and face off against a dragon that they couldn't even tickle before. Now with the synopsis done, let's talk about the gameplay. What I consider to easily be the best part of the game. Now it's hard to explain, like very hard, but I'll try, so stick with me on this, please. Now if I had to explain the gameplay in one sentence, I would say it feels like an MMO, but single player. That made no sense at all. Okay, let's dive deeper. You pick one of 3 classes to start. Pretty generic stuff, right? But you unlock more classes as you go. There is a total of 9, and you can change whenever you want at an end. Each class has specific weapons and armor they can use, and each weapon has unique moves. So it's best to pick the class that can wield your preference in that category. How's the combat? Freaking amazing and so satisfying. After you've broken a couple keyboards in the learning stage, which sucks because this game is so freaking hard, man, it does get easier, so don't worry. Stick with it and your labor will bear fruit, I swear. Back to combat. You have a standard fast and heavy attacks and an air version of each. That's just a tip, because this game just wants to make my job even harder. Each weapon has unique active abilities you can unlock and equip. There are also passives, but I don't want to talk about that right now. These abilities can be used by spending stamina, but don't run out of stamina, please. Look how long I can't do anything without it. You are punished so heavily, it is ridiculous. Anyway, you'll have a main weapon, which is what you'll use most of the time, but also a side weapon, like a bow, that will also have unique abilities that also cost stamina to use those abilities. But this is just the tippy top of that iceberg because of the freaking freaking pawn system. The coolest gameplay system in an RPG that I have seen in so long. It is unreal, man. Okay. Strap in, because I'm going to make this as simple as possible. But I do need to explain a lot about it to just kind of get over to you how special and unique this system really is. Okay, let's just dive in. You will always have 3 followers. Yes, count them, 3. These are called pawns. They are essentially people who are bound to the Arisen and will do whatever you want. One of your pawns will always be your main pawn, who you will customize just like you did for yourself. They are essentially a follower who is just like you. You can change their class and moves just as much as yourself. They will be your best friend, and not gonna lie, I grew attached to my main pawn because they were always by my side, as all the other pawns were either died or just flew to the wayside. Oh, I didn't explain that yet. Okay, so remember how I said you will have 3 followers at all times. One of them is your main pawn. So who are the other 2? Well, they are just going to be random pawns throughout the world that you can find, and you can hire some for free or others with a specific currency. Now, these pawns cannot change their classes or their skills. They also do not level up, so you will replace them very often. These guys are used to fill out your party to optimize the group to a good balance. Do you kind of see why I said it plays like an MMO? Because you are not an all-powerful being who will destroy everything. You are a member of an ever-changing team. They need you as much as you need them. You are just a piece of the puzzle here. And boy, these are the most helpful followers and NPCs ever to be put in a video game. Because not only do they have combat skills, but they will have quest, enemy, and area knowledge that will grow throughout your adventure. They will constantly be pointing out things in the area to do, weaknesses the enemies will have, or the best course of action for quests, and much more. Sometimes they don't stop talking, but you'll learn to listen for the important stuff and not just fireworks. Well, I've heard that so many times, I'm just gonna have it put on my gravestone. This is easily the most important and unique part of the game, but it will take time to get used to. It is not beginner friendly in the slightest, but once you get a hang of it, it shows how amazing it really is. If you go online, you can hire other players' main pawns as one of your standard pawns, and others can do the same for your main pawn as well. This game really wants to make you feel like a teammate rather than just an unrelenting force. Your pawns will always be there to pick up your slack, grabbing enemies and holding them for you to attack, helping you recover your stamina if you got a little too reckless, grabbing down allies and taking them to you to revive them because you're the only one who can revive downed allies. It's crazy how fluid and smooth this feels when you actually start playing with it. I can honestly say I have never played anything like it, at least in a single player RPG, and that is just truly fantastic to say. You can also tell this game was made by the same people who made Monster Hunter because a little bit of that flair has made its way here as well. You can climb big monsters and target specific parts of their body to cut them off or deal extra damage. Very Shadow of the Colossus feeling here, which your teammates will also do. The pawns are freaking cool. Oh yeah, they also pick up items you may have missed, hold down enemies you have knocked down, give you weapon buffs and heal you constantly if you have the right teammates, suggest the best path for a quest, suggest what you might want to do in specific areas, let you know if an enemy is too difficult and you should probably just dip out of there. Okay, let's move on. You must forgive me for going into full the more you know. I usually don't go into such detail, but in this instance it's necessary because that's what makes this game stand out. Because, well, sadly, the role-playing part of this role-playing game is a bit lacking. It's not bad by any means, but well, there is no dialogue trees. You can't choose what to say, you just kinda gotta go as a silent protagonist at the will of the game. There are choices to make in this game, which do have significant effects, but it really boils down to kill this guy who you just met, or don't. However, some side quests are timed, and you may not know that and fail it because, well, this kidnapped girl isn't going to be waiting for 2 weeks for a rescue, and this will actually kill off certain characters that seemed very significant. This makes it where you can't do any more of their quests, so there are consequences, which I do love. There is also an affinity system with every NPC in the game, which you increase by doing a harvest moon and giving them presents. I mean, it's fine. It worked in something like, you know, Stardew Valley, but here it feels a little weird. Like I said, it's not horrible or anything, but nothing close to the levels of Elder Scrolls or Fallout games like you may be used to. I feel like I just needed to tell you guys so you can have your expectations in check. There's still much more to talk about. Okay, the cutscenes. Oh boy, the cutscenes. These give off such a distinct Resident Evil 4 feeling. Just watch.
Talisman!
This game is stupid in the kind of way that only Capcom can accomplish.
To the castle mains! Step lively!
Where it takes itself as serious as possible, but sometimes it just makes you laugh so hard by complete accident. Let's talk dungeons. And oh boy, does Dragon's Dogma have some of the best dungeons I've ever played in any RPG in my 22 years of living. I think it is a mix of the dark being only lit by your lanterns and your allies' lanterns, the designs of the areas being unknown, and venturing further knowing that at any moment you could come across an enormous monster, and with your pawns at your side, it feels like you're part of a scouting team trying to quelch the evil within the depths. There are even end-game dungeons that have super unique bosses. It's gonna be hard doing dungeons in other games after soaring so high with this game's dungeons, man. Easily one of the best parts of the game also. But of course, we need to mention the open world. This world is much smaller than something like Skyrim, but it's not tiny by any means. You will always return to Grand Soren, which is the central city. I could keep going on and on and on about this game, but I think I need to end it at some point. In conclusion, I freaking loved this game. I really recommend it if you haven't tried it. It's unique and something fresh. If you are looking for a great combat system, stick with it, man. I'm telling you. It's hard to start, but it'll get better and better. I obviously left some parts out of this review kind of thing to leave a little bit of mystery, such as the crafting and stuff. This game is just mechanics city. So it is a game that will make you think and really consider your next move everywhere you are or whatever you're doing. Overall, an easy recommend for me and a hidden gem. Okay, my throat hurts. Anyway, thanks guys. See ya.